Hello, Wildcat fans. This is Coach Jerome Tang here on the field of 68 with every pod of Wildcat. Our guest today is none other than one and only Jareem Dowling. Jareem, say hi to your fans.
Hi. I don't got no fans.
All right, so man, your energy is like an infectious thing, right? Like, tell us what in your background has helped you to be one of those energy givers.
I would say my upbringing. My upbringing with my family. I have a pretty large family, and everybody's boisterous and energetic. Most people in my family are like dancers, and when I say dancers, like for the holidays, like the carnival and the festive stuff that we do in the islands, that's just their energy every single day. So it kind of was instilled to me as a little kid, just watching my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents just have high energy every single day. It just always felt like a party in the family, even if there was no music. We were just loud and just enjoying every moment of the day.
Well, so for the few people out there who may not know, why don't you tell them where you're from, though?
I'm originally from St. Croix, the U.S. Virgin Islands, born and raised on that beautiful island. You might have heard of a guy by the name of Tim Duncan, but he's nobody. But that's where I'm from, St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands.
And so when did you come to the States?
In 1997, I got adopted by an unbelievable family, a Tolson family, led by Rosalind Tolson and her beautiful kids, George Tolson, Dr. Charles Tolson, and Angie Tolson. I lived with them in the great state of Delaware, the first state.
And so after Delaware, then you went on and played junior college basketball and then Division I basketball. Tell a little bit about where.
Yeah, after high school in Delaware, didn't take high school too seriously, the SATs and all that stuff. So thank God there was an alternative route, and Coach Bill Lewitt saw me in the All-Star game. I was a reserve. Somebody got injured, and I made the team as a scratch on. I think they put my name on like a sticker. But I had 21 points in the game, and Coach Lewitt offered me an opportunity to come to Cecil Community College, where I played for 3 years because I got injured, and then I went on to Maryland Eastern Shore Small Division I, where one of my best friends from Delaware, Aziz Ali, he was there and got the coaches to recruit me, and I went there and finished out my Division I career.
So it's every kid's dream that plays basketball to play in the NBA, but you quickly realized your path was a little bit different. What triggered that?
I was real with myself. I knew how good I was, and my MBA was playing Division I. No matter what level it was Division I, free education. I knew my parents couldn't afford it, so my goal was to graduate college with no loans, no bills, and that was the dream. That was the goal. I know that my career was going to be short-lived, and I wasn't going to pursue some career going to Mexico and trying to make $1,100 a month and pretend that I'm a pro, So I realized how infectious coaching was to me as a player and how it molded me in different parts of my life. And I wanted to be able to do the same thing. So that's why I got into coaching. And funny, the itch started when I was working a camp at the junior college, where I was working out with the little kids, to raise money in the summertime, and it was fun, and my team won the championship, and I just saw how the kids got better from Monday to Friday, and it was exciting to me, And then I went on to my Division I school, and intramurals was a big thing there, and my buddies that I was friends with weren't on the team, but they played basketball, and I happened to be their coach in intramurals, and that itch and that love for it just stuck with me. And after I was done with college, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to go about it.
And so that's when Coach Lewitt, who you mentioned, gave you that opportunity.
Yeah, he gave me a better opportunity. He gave me an opportunity to go to a Division II school where I would have had housing, meal plan, all that type of stuff to start coaching. And I told Coach that I wanted to work for him, and he was like, "You sure?" And he was like, "I got 25 for you." So I'm like, Of course. I'm online. At the time, it was like AOL dial-up. I'm online trying to look for cars, and I'm like, man, he's gonna pay me $25,000. I can't wait. Like, I'm excited. I go and I see the contract, and it was $2,500. I was like, oh my God, like, is this a prank? And he's like, Coach, what are you talking about? You're making half of what I'm making. I said, hold up, Coach. You've coached me and all these other players for $5,000? That passion, that energy that you was giving us was $5,000. That's what you were getting paid. And he said, yes. He's like, you want it or not? And I said, yeah. And I called my parents, and they were like, boy, you're stupid. Why don't you just go be a gym teacher if you want to coach ball? Like, you're not going to make no money. How you going to take care of yourself? And I went through that avenue of, working in administration, where I was registering students for classes. I was working in the call center. I was working in grounds, cutting grass, like doing all these different things to make ends meet, And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And Liv, everybody doesn't see that are behind the scenes, the stuff that they just see where we're at right now, and they don't see all the other things that we had to do, the sacrifice that were made for us to be able to do the thing we love, which is coach and help young men.
Absolutely.
And so that's a special thing. So let me ask you this: with you're really big on social media, particularly Instagram, right? And your stories and stuff. If Instagram was around when you were the assistant coach at Cecil and at Slippery Rock, what would it look like?
It would look like 15 passenger vans. It would look like McDonald's. It would look like Golden Corral. I don't know if I'll be seeing them boys eating good. I don't know that I'll be seeing that. But
you just saying the boys eating, huh?
They eating. At least they eating. I remember our meal money back then was $6, and nothing was better than a dollar menu. And I learned a trick from Coach Lewitt. Before he used his $6, he would walk around to all the players and take a couple fries here, take a couple fries there. And by the time he used his $6, he had a full meal because he took enough from the players. So that's a trick that I learned from Coach Lewitt. But at Slippery Rock, the same thing, man. It was buses, reversible uniforms. I was washing the uniforms. We didn't have managers, So all the intricates. I don't know that I would have enough time to actually have the phone in my hand because I would be doing so many odd end jobs, mopping the floor, doing the uniform, picking up the players, making sure they're in study hall, making sure that they go into class, doing class checks to make sure they're in the first 3 rows of the class. So, but it would definitely be the same thing. And the funny thing is, I recorded my first season as a coach on a camcorder and made a DVD in it. And we actually won the national championship that year. So it's special because I go back and I look at it and I see the same person just with, bad camera footage.
So when people see you now, flying on private planes, you and Coach AB with the leg room, the boys eating good, the restaurant, just all the stuff that's going on. They didn't see the things that allow that you had to put in to get to this point, right? And what do you want them to know about the Jareem Dowling coach then, as compared to Jareem Dowling the coach now?
My energy was the same. I always appreciated where I was at. I was taught as an early coach to make it the big time where you're at. Don't let somebody dictate what's big time to you. And I felt like I've done that along my journey. I've experienced very highs at every stop I've ever been, and I appreciate it. And wherever I'm at, there's no place in the world better than that place right at that moment. And I don't think a player that played for me or a coworker that worked with me would say my energy wasn't the same from Cecil to here. The only thing now is more people see it, and there's more technology for me to showcase it, you know. And it's not, for me, it's not about bragging. It's about being the light to somebody else. You know, it might motivate somebody else, you know. You might learn something from one of my stories, you know. And just be who I am. Be transparent, because I don't want you to see one person in real life and a different person on social media. So sometimes I know I might post too much, you know, according to my wife, she said I post too much, but just who I am. I'm an open book.
Well, you know, my wife appreciates it because when I'm with you, she knows exactly where I'm at and exactly what's going on. I don't have to check in as often with that. But
you're welcome, Ray.
All right, so you know, speaking of, like, you won a JUCO championship at Cecil. You know, you're very successful at Slippery Rock. Went to Moorhead. You know, very successful there. Southern Miss. You know, then Arkansas State, North Texas, here at Kansas State. Like, I mean, you've been a common denominator in a lot of winning, right? What do you feel was your impact on each of those programs?
That's a good question. I think my impact on those programs was seeing the positive in the staff, in the people, in the community that we were in, and making sure that those players and coaches that I work with appreciated where we're at, and explain to them that, like, you know, one of my close friends, Ross Hodge, always says, we're in the 1%, you know, we're in the 1%. And it humbles you when you think about that, you know, like how good we have it. So even in different situations, I just try to dwell on that with players and coaches, so they understand and they appreciate what we have, when we have it, and understand that everybody don't get this opportunity.
No, that's good. Well, what do you, if someone had told a young Jareem Dowling, right, that you're going to be at Kansas State, right, in the Big 12, right, and players are going to be making like incredible money through NIL, what would you have thought?
How long ago?
Say when you started coaching, right out of.
I would have told them, ain't no way that's happening. I was like, ain't no way that's happening. But the game has changed, and me personally, I'm trying to figure out daily what can I help motivate our guys to do now that NIL is on the forefront, you know, because what these guys are making, it's a blessing, and it took me 19 years to make what I'm making, you know, and just being transparent. And it was a long journey. It was a lot of ups and downs. It was a lot of hard times, and I don't know how to maneuver this new avenue yet, and it's a work in progress, you know.
So how has it changed? How has this NIL thing changed you? Everybody talks about how it's going to change the players and this and that and the other. How has it changed you?
It's changed me in the sense of, I used to motivate the guys to get the money after college. Now they're getting it while in college. So now I got to figure out what else can I help them be motivated about now that they have this money. You know, no disrespect to nobody, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys are making more money than some of their households, you know, and it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. I know I deal with it, where family and friends, they want help and they want to borrow money, and God knows what those guys are going through. So depending on how transparent they want to be with me, as I'm being transparent with them, is where the areas I want to help them in, you know, and of course use basketball as the carrot to help lead them in the positive direction with, you know, this new finance that they have and the new things that comes with the NIL, the pressures.
I'm glad you said that, the pressures that come with it, because I'm watching a game last night.
Okay.
And it's Kansas versus Missouri.
Okay.
And Kansas is making a comeback.
Okay.
and ball gets swung. I think it was a 6-point game, could have been cut to 3, or a 3-point game. They could have tied it up. Ball gets swung to A.J. Stores, and he shoots it and misses. And Fran Fischella says he gets paid a whole lot of money to make that shot. He's got to make that shot. And all Fran did was say what every fan is thinking, some coaches that we are thinking, that is also running through those guys' heads, as they're thinking about trying to live up to it. And there's pressure on everybody except for the agents who are putting these numbers out there, some of them, right? And they don't understand the kind of pressures that they're putting on these players.
Some of the numbers are fabricated, though.
Yeah, but some are fabricated or not, it still puts pressure, more added pressure on the kid. Right. Whereas before, fans were mad because there was a scholarship player missing. Now they're mad because they feel like if we're paying you, you shouldn't miss, or you shouldn't have a bad game. And some coaches are thinking that way, and I know that I was finding myself thinking that way with some of the behaviors, right? Like, why should I have to deal with immaturity or certain aspects of young men's lives as they grow up, right? Now that they're making money, right? And which was not right for me. I'm not saying for anybody else. For me, it wasn't right, and I had to deal with it. But I say that to say that how what are you doing to not allow that kind of thought process to affect you as you're dealing with these guys?
Praying. I'm being honest. Praying. Man, it's hard not to think about it. And it's not fair to them, but it's what you signed up for, And I want them to be more successful for them because they're so young in their life that with social media and things people might say or do or DM them, you don't want it to mess with their mental because, you know how important mental health is.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. And, like what's crazy is the statement that Fran made, and Fran's a friend of mine. I've talked to him already about this. I don't even hear NBA announcers make those kind of statements about NBA players.
I agree. Oh, that's a good point.
They make way more money, right? And nobody says, oh, he can't miss that shot because he's being paid, and so there is like this whole other level put on these young men, and and then as for us as coaches, it's there are people there. We have boosters. Like we have wonderful boosters here at K-State that are doing a great job of providing what we need NIL wise.
The best
to help our guys, and there's a certain pressure that you feel as a coach to help these guys to perform better, to meet the return on investment.
Of course.
And thankfully we have people who they understand you plant a seed in the ground, it takes time for it to grow, and produce fruit. There's not an immediate return on investment. Not everything is going to be Apple that's gonna skyrocket right away. But you do feel that pressure as a coach. How are you handling that part of it?
Podcasts, staff meetings where I can be transparent, with my coworkers, with you as our leader. Few friends outside of coaching that I talk to, because you need a balance. It ain't easy. It's a heavy load, but it's what I signed up for. Right. I'm not ducking it. I'm not complaining. I can't remember what you say. You can't be thankful
and complain
at the same time. Because I'm thankful and I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to figure out how to maneuver this new way. Because my superpower was helping kids get to this point.
Get to where they want to get to.
After.
I say it all the time. It's one of the definitions of a coach. Yeah. Right. A coach is a vehicle that moves people from one place to the next, and safely. Yeah. And if they already are there when you get them, then now you're not trying to help them get somewhere. You're trying to get something from them, and that's not why we got into business. And Wildcat Nation, thank you for tuning in to Every Pot of Wildcat. This is Coach Jerome Tang.